Well, it's a very warm welcome back to second half independent off-tube studio commentary. World Cup group stage continues, and it's a Group C game between Poland and Saudi Arabia from the Education City Stadium in Al Rayyan. Poland leading by 1-0 after a goal from Piotr Zielinski on 38 minutes. Great chance for Saudi Arabia to equalise in the first minute of added time. We had 10 minutes of it in the end in the first half, but Salem Al-Dosari had his penalty saved by Szczęsny, and then the rebound from Mohammed Al was also tipped over. I actually think that the save from the rebound from Szczęsny was actually better than the penalty save itself. But that was important for Poland because they had a very flat and disappointing performance against Mexico themselves, missing a penalty in that 0-0 draw. But Saudi Arabia, of course, they were a goal down at half-time against Argentina in their first game and ended up winning the game 2-1. So we'll see if Hervé Renard's half-time team talk has done anything to mobilise his players here in the second half. We are underway in the second half. There was one change for Saudi Arabia, just waiting for confirmation as to who has gone off and gone on. But in the meantime, it is Saudi Arabia in possession down the left-hand side, trying to push forward here, get back into the game as quickly as possible, as the ball is deflected out by Matt Cash. Is that going to be a corner kick? I think he did get the final touch. So this is going to be a corner kick, and it's straight away over on the left-hand side. Just to confirm that it was Sami Al-Naji who was replaced at half-time, and it's Nafaf Al-Abid who comes on in his place. So we'll go through the full 11s in just a moment. We'll just see out this corner kick for Saudi Arabia initially. And plenty of activity inside that penalty area. It's an out-swinging corner, just a little bit too much on that one. Al-Amri doing his best to try and keep it in play. It's played away from him, and then Krychowiak trying to push forward. He gives a free kick away there, according to our referee, Wilson Pereira Sampaio from Brazil, who, as I say, had an okay first half. I think he was a little bit inconsistent in some of the free kicks and bookings that he gave for both teams, but does give a free kick to Saudi Arabia there, feeling as though it was just a little bit too much there from Krychowiak in trying to win the ball back. So a good chance here, and Nafaf Al-Abid, who's replaced Al-Naji, straight into set-piece duty here as well. Looking to try and get a ball into the box. Poland have set up about level with the penalty spot, I would say, here in terms of their offside line. Doing what they can just to make it that little bit more difficult for Saudi Arabia. But, well, certainly from this sort of angle, you might even think that Al-Abid might fancy a shot here. It's a curling effort towards goal. Just not enough height on that one, though. Headed away by Lewandowski. Back to Al-Abid at the edge of the area. Playing it towards Al-Buriak. Buriak there, holding the ball up on the right-hand side. Gets it in towards Cano. It's Buriak again, a left-footed ball into the box, headed up in the air by Cash, and then a second header there from Bielik heading it away. And it's a free kick to Poland there as Milik is brought down just at the edge of the centre circle. Free kick to Poland. So the Polish 11 hasn't changed from the first half. Wojciech Szczęsny is in goal. A back three of Jakub Kiwior, Kamil Glik and Bartosz Bereszyński. The four in midfield are Matt Cash, Krystian Bielik, Grzegorz Krychowiak and Przemysław Frankowski, with Piotr Zielinski playing behind a front two of Arkadiusz Milik and Robert Lewandowski. I'll just do the Saudi 11 in a moment because Poland are on the attack here with the ball played down the left-hand side. That's good work, though, from Mohammed Al Owais. The Saudi goalkeeper comes out and cuts the ball out before it gets through to Zielinski. Just manages to avoid any problems by putting this out for a throw to Poland down the left-hand side. And so I'll run through the Saudi 11 in just a second. We'll just see out this attack for Poland. They've got a throw here at the edge of the Saudi penalty area. Bereszyński's come forward to take this one. Gets the ball into the box. It's hooked up in the air, and there's going to be a break in play here. I think there's a head injury that the referee has spotted. To say it's become a bit of a talking point here, the amount of injury time that's been added to every half in this World Cup. Although technically speaking, we should have about 15 minutes added to every half, considering how much time is wasted. But the Saudi 11 for the second half, it is Mohammed Al Owais in goal, with a back four of Vasaud, Abdul Hamid, Abdullah Al Amri, Abdullah Al Bulahi and Mohammed Al Buriak. Abdulelah Al Malki is the holding midfielder. The four ahead of him are Feras Al Brikan, Nafaf Al Abid, who comes on for Sami Al Naji, Mohammed Cano and Salem Al Dosari, with Saleh Al Shekri as the front man. And it looks like it was Cano who just felt a bit of a head injury there. He's off the field now, and he should be okay to play on. I think Lewandowski is just asking the referee whether or not that was actually a head injury. I think the referee was just trying to explain to the Polish captain That's, of course, he is duty-bound to stop any kind of incident where he feels as though there might be a head injury. Play has been restarted, and Mohammed Kano is back on the field now as well. Everything okay with him. And Saudi Arabia now in possession with Abdulelah Al Amri trying a long diagonal ball. It's a good long diagonal ball as well to pick out Al Brikan. He's got Al Desari on the overlap. His cross is charged down by Milik, having to come back into defence. And it's deflected out for a corner kick. So plenty of Saudi players arriving inside the penalty area. Poland in their home strip. White shirts, red shorts, white socks. Saudi Arabia, as always, all in green. Slightly different shade of green on the shorts and the socks compared to the shirts. But the corner kick was taken short this time, which slightly different variation there from Saudi Arabia. Then a ball is played into the box in an overhead kick attempt just inside the penalty area there from Mohammed Kano. But the ball goes away. Well, he was never looking like getting that one on target. It's a long way away from the overhead kick we saw from Richarlison a couple of nights ago. What a fantastic goal that was. Brazil arriving with a bang in the World Cup. Certainly one of the teams to watch, you would say. As the ball now breaches Robert Lewandowski, but I think there might have been a foul there. The referee just having to get involved here. Just trying to calm down a couple of Polish players. I think it was Lewandowski who was just a bit annoyed. He actually felt as though the free kick should have gone his way. Looked initially as though it might have been a Polish free kick. It was given in favour of Saudi Arabia. Now played back towards the halfway line here for Abdulelah Al Amri. Switching play over towards the left-hand side. Taken down here by Al Desari. He's got options ahead of him. Just holds it up. Threads this one through towards Al Abid. Back in midfield now with Al Malki. Flicking it into the box. Good strong header away by Kamil Glik. Headed back into midfield. Back towards Al Malki. Picked up here by Al Abid, who also came on in the game against Argentina. Square now to Kano. Played back in towards Al Amri. Poland sat back at the edge of their own penalty area here. Even Lewandowski back in a defensive position. Doing what they can to try and stifle any attacking ambition here from Saudi Arabia. A ball down the right-hand side, easily cleared by Bereszyński. There's going to be a free kick there in favour of Poland as well. Strong challenge there on Grzegorz Krychowiak. Looked like the challenge coming in there was from Al Shekri. And so, yeah, I mean, it doesn't catch Krychowiak too much. I think he just hits him in the heel there and then sort of clatters into him as well. So Krychowiak, only a Polish player to be playing his club football in Saudi Arabia, having previously been playing for Dynamo Moscow. But so after the outbreak of war in Ukraine, Polish FA made it very clear they won't be considering any Polish player who's still playing in the Russian league. There were a couple of Polish players that still chose to remain in Russian football, but certainly most of the ones that would be considering a role in the national team decided to try and ply their trade elsewhere. Maciej Rybus is the one that springs to mind as one who didn't want to leave his Russian club. In the meantime, we've got a free kick to Saudi Arabia. Bit of a strong challenge there. Bielik just holding on to Al Abid. Here come Saudi Arabia now down the left-hand side. An overlap here, and Abdul Hamid has ended up on the left-hand side this time. Plays this one to Al Buriak, who goes for goal, and that is, well, it's ambitious, I think, is the word we'll use there. Hervé Renard didn't look particularly impressed with that effort there from his midfielder. But it doesn't change the fact that the Saudi fans are in good voice here. Plenty of green around the stadium. In fact, there's loads of green. There's probably, say, 3/4 of the stadium are Saudi fans, with a few Polish sections here and there, and then I would imagine most of the neutral seats, if you like, are probably with Saudi Arabia fans as well. They really are hoping for a change of fortune in this second half. Saudi Arabia, of course, will qualify to the next stage if they can turn this result around today, and they've got a great chance in now as the ball breaks into the box. Just taking a bit of a time to clear this. It's going to go into the back of the net. Surely it's hooked away. How on earth does that not go into the back of the net? And then the strike from the edge of the area is cleared, is way over the bar in the end. But this is as close as Saudi Arabia have come, barring the penalty, to getting a level in this game. Good work from Al Desari on the right-hand side. And as this ball breaks into the 6-yard box, the attempted clearance from Kivior hits one of the Saudi players on the back. before the follow-up effort is fired a long way over the bar. Well, it's Al Abid who breaks into the box. Bereshinsky bumps into him. Then now Shekri tries to get a shot away. He gets charged down as well. It's good work there. Szczęsny stopping that effort from Al Desari with his thigh. Before the second effort goes a long way over the bar. Frustration there for the Saudi fans and for the Saudi bench as well. Again, Hervé Renard very angry when he saw that follow-up effort go such a long way over. As the ball now goes out for a throw to Saudi. Poland have had seconds of possession inside the Saudi half in these first 10 minutes of the second half. Really has been a very positive start here from Saudi Arabia. They've had a couple of decent chances already. Throw on now down the left-hand side. It's they've switched their fullbacks in the second half. So Saud Abdul Hamid is playing on the left-hand side now with Mohammed Al Buriak on the right. And it's Abdul Hamid's throw. Played back into midfield and back all the way towards the edge of the Saudi Arabia penalty area now. It's with Abdullah Al Amri. He sits forward to Mohamed Kano. Short now to Al Desari. Options ahead of him. Poland just starting to sit a little bit deeper here as Saudi Arabia looking to put a bit more pressure on. Ball down the left-hand side, chested away by Kamil Glik, and then Krychowiak's ball up towards the halfway line. There's a bit of a shove in the back there on Piotr Zielinski. That's going to be a free kick. And I think the Poland players, they were expecting perhaps that there was going to be a booking there as well. It's a clumsy challenge there from Nawaf Al Abid. He gets away with it, just a free kick, no booking. Zielinski picks himself up, he gets the ball here from the free kick, plays it towards Frankowski. Played back to Cash. And it's now with Glik and Kiwior inside the Polish half. Kiwior with the ball over the top, one here for Bereshinsky to chase. He gets on the end of it, puts a cross in, which is way too high for Milik waiting in the box, but Frankowski can close things out on the right-hand side. His cross is easily charged down. Second effort here from Cash is a wayward effort. He didn't need to do that, Matt Cash. He could have taken a touch and tried to get the ball in. But that's better from Poland. They finally had some sort of attacking possession inside the Saudi Arabia half. It's taken them nearly 12 minutes of second half play. But Saudi Arabia now starting with a short goal kick. Ball played back towards Abdulelah Al Amri. Options here, left and right. And so long ball played now down the left-hand side as the visitors, I say the visitors, Poland seem like the visitors in this game, although they're listed as the team at first on the team sheet. But of course they're very much outnumbered this afternoon in terms of the fan support. But certainly they've been playing like the visitors for most of this game as well. So you can forgive me for saying that, because certainly for most of this game, Saudi Arabia have been the side who've been dictating the pace. They've certainly been dictating the pace in the early stages of this second half. And a 1-0 lead in any game is always very fragile, as was proven by Saudi Arabia beating Argentina, and of course that amazing turnaround in the game between Germany and Japan, where Japan ended up from coming back from a goal down. And so won that game 2-1 as well, putting pressure straight away on Germany. As this group stage really is getting to the business end now. From Tuesday onwards, of course, we have the 2 games from each group being played at the same time. And then by this time next week, of course, we'll be into the first games of the knockout stage. So it really does, you wait a long time for the World Cup, and then it really is all over very, very quickly. So it's so important for players to be on form, to be on the money, and get into the games as quickly as possible. And that's why potentially some of the games have been played at a really fast pace, because we are playing this game, playing this World Cup in the middle of a season rather than towards the end. There's a chance here now for Saudi Arabia, the ball breaking through. It's a strike, and it's just over the bar. Feras Al-Brikan shuts up the commentator there. I was getting into a bit of a tangent, and in the meantime, Saudi Arabia was slowly creeping forward towards the edge of the Polish penalty area. And this ball was threaded through towards Al-Brikan, the Saudi number 9. He got away from Cash and from Frankowski, and then his strike. Cash was coming back and sliding in to at least try and slow him down. And in doing that, just perhaps forced them into playing out. But Poland play out from the back, and they've lost possession here as Kiwior's robbed of the ball. And there may be a second penalty here as the strike comes over the bar in the end. Don't think there was enough contact for a second penalty, although certainly a couple of Saudi players asking the question. But what are Poland doing here from the back? It's just a short ball here from Szczęsny, and Kiwior was easy robbed of the ball there. Comes back to at least win the ball back, and then the follow-up effort there. We'll see here. Does Kiwior bring down El Shekri? No, I don't think he does. I don't think there's enough contact there to suggest another penalty. And so we can see that even from Hervé Renard, he wasn't reacting as if he was expecting a VAR check there. I think everyone realised that on that occasion there just wasn't enough contact. But this pressure from Saudi Arabia is paying off. Poland are getting caught at the back here, and they're struggling to get any kind of attacking possession. But Lewandowski trying to hold the ball up here for Arkadiusz Milik. Lewandowski feels as though there was a handball there that should be given in Poland's favour. And the referee has actually given it as a foul in favour of Saudi Arabia. And you can see Lewandowski is not impressed with that decision. Trying to get his message across to the referee. Free kick taken short now as Abdulelah Al Malki now moving forward. Square inside to Mohammed Kano. Ball over the top looking for the run. That's a great ball. It's a great control from Al Buriak, and his cross in the end, because he was running so hard to get towards the ball on the line. Just didn't really have enough of an angle to cross, and the ball into the box is overplayed in the end. But was he onside? I think he probably would have been had it gone to a VAR check if that had been necessary. But the cross was always sailing out. Poland getting ready to make their first change. It's a player who started the previous game, who was replaced in the starting 11 today by Christian Bielik. But it's going to be Piotr Zielinski who goes off, the Polish goal scorer. He's coming off the field now to be replaced by Jakub Kamiński. So Zielinski, the Napoli man, is off to be replaced by Kamiński, who plays his club football in Germany for Wolfsburg. The 20-year-old making his sixth start, getting his sixth cap for Poland, I should say. And is he more defensive than Zielinski? He'll be playing more in a central role than an attacking role. But Poland, in the meantime, go on the attack. A cross coming in. Milik with the header. It cannons off the bar. And it's back towards the edge of the area. Poland with a great chance to double their lead. As the ball was played in, Milik with a diving header crashes it off the bar, and it's away and out for a throw. But Poland doing well here in midfield. The ball found Kamiński, his first touch of the game, over to Lewandowski. Lewandowski out to Frankowski, his cross, Milik with the header, and it really was a good header from Arkadiusz Milik, aiming right at the top corner. The goalkeeper's nowhere near this. He's never going to save it, but it crashes off the bar, and it was cleared away. Warnings there for Saudi Arabia as well. If they were to concede a second, that really does make their task very, very difficult. Of course, they still have a game against Mexico to come, and if Poland were to go on and win this, that would put them and Saudi Arabia both on 3 points. I think both Poland and the Saudis would then be hoping for a for a draw, I think, this evening. Ideally a goalless one, so neither side gets any goals scored added to their tally. Poland have had 3 efforts in this game, and 1 of them has been on target. Saudi Arabia have had 11 efforts on goal. 4 of them have been on target. Yet it is Poland that's lead here by a goal to nil. As Saud Abdulhamid there brings down Jakub Kamiński. That's going to be a free kick to Poland on their right-hand side. Kamiński just trying to turn away from Abdulhamid, and he was trodden on so badly his boot actually came off his foot. So I think that's visual evidence that there probably was a bit of contact there. And a free kick to Poland now taken short by Kamil Glik. Back to Jakub Kiwior. Kiwior, 22-year-old, back towards Wojciech Szczęsny. 32 years of age, Szczęsny with 67 caps. You'd imagine it could have been more than that, but of course he's been in a sort of rotation with Fabiański over the past 7 or 8 years or so. It does look as though for the next few years at least, Szczęsny is going to be Poland's first goalkeeper. We do have Łukasz Skorupski, who plays for Bologna, and Kamil Grabara, who for many years was a Liverpool player, but could never really get any time even on the Liverpool bench, let alone actually starting a game. Meanwhile, we have a second change here for Saudi Arabia, and it looks like Abdulelah Al Buryak has come off. Mohammed Al Buryak, I should say. As Poland go on the attacking now with the ball down the right-hand side. It's whipped in, it gets a deflection, it comes off the post and then it's cleared back into midfield. Well, it could have been very serious there for Saudi Arabia. There's a foul there in favour of Saudi Arabia now on the halfway line. But looks like it's Al Shekri who's gone down. Wait and see whether he's okay to play on or not. But we'll see from this angle as Cash. Yeah, he does catch Al Shekri there as he tries to get that ball from high up. But as this ball was played in, Lewandowski sort of deflected that ball. I think he was trying to hit it. Lewandowski's hit it with his right foot. He's then deflected off his left knee and hit the post. If Lewandowski hadn't had that second touch, I think he would have gone straight into the back of the net. Just to confirm that Al Buryak has got off, and it's Al Ghanam who's replaced him now. Al Ghanam, Sultan Al Ghanam is on the field now to be in that wide role. We'll see whether or not that means that they'll switch their fullbacks again. We did see Abdulelah and Al Buryak switch at the start of the second half. It's now the number 2 Sultan Al Ghanam who's now on the field. And, with Saudi Arabia still seeing more of the ball. We've got around 24 minutes to go until we hit injury time in this second half. There is a foul in favour of Saudi Arabia. Referee does allow the advantage. There's going to be another free kick though, as a foul at the edge of the box here, and this will be a free kick to Saudi Arabia in a decent position. Christian Bielik is the one who's committed the foul. I'm not sure he can have too many complaints about the decision. It's a bit of a push there on Fenes Al Brikan. Yeah, I think that's a pretty easy decision for the referee, really. And this is very much within shooting range. It's only about 3 or 4 yards away from the edge of the D. This Polish wall is going to be well inside the penalty area. Referee just getting the lines drawn up. And this Polish wall pretend like they can't hear the referee. Still trying to steal a couple of yards like players always do. Or at least always try to. Even with the magic spray, they still try and get away with as much as they can. But 3 or 4 Saudi players now standing over this one. Wait to see who's going to be taking this. It looks like it's the number 10, Salem Al-Dasari, who had the penalty saved. Also substitute Nawaf Al-Abid is the other player standing over it. Lewandowski is one of 4 players in that Polish wall. There's also a Polish player knelt down behind the wall just in case there's any kind of low strike. Strauss stood pretty much in the middle of the goal as it's a strike that's into the wall. It was at chest high. A disappointing effort there from Al-Abid. The ball makes its way back to him now on the right-hand side. Under pressure here from Lewandowski. Falls theatrically, but there was no foul. Lewandowski, though, perhaps rushed his pass a little bit to Milik. And in any case, you've got to credit the goalkeeper there, Mohammed Al Owais, because he ran up almost to the halfway line there to win the ball back for Saudi Arabia. Al-Abid now playing it back towards Al Malki. Good ball down the left-hand side. It's kept in play here by Al Brikan. Gets the ball into the penalty area. Laid off now. There's going to be a strike coming towards goal. It's a shot on target, but it's straight down the middle, really. Routine save there for Wojciech Szczęsny. No problem for him to save that one as Al-Dasari put a bit of curl on it, but it never really had enough movement, enough rotation, and it was always a little bit too low, I think, as well, to really trouble Szczęsny. I think he used the fact there were 2 Polish players in front of him just to try and make a bit of a shield there so that Szczęsny might see it late, but it needed to have more movement on it, really, to trouble the Juventus and Poland goalkeeper. And so I'm not quite sure what this drop ball was for, but I think there was an injury. As I say, I don't even want to guess what sort of injury time we're going to have at the end of this second half. I expected 4 or 5 minutes in the first, and we ended up having 10. But ball back in play. Szczęsny bowls it out down the right-hand side to Frankowski. A couple of Polish players chasing this one, including the substitute Kamiński, who's then a little bit too physical. Well, I say how much physicality there was there, I'm not too sure. But it's Saud Abdulhamid who's brought down. And just for clarity, Abdulhamid has remained on that left-hand side. So Sultan Al Ghanam has come on, and he is now the right back. He replaced Al Buryak a few minutes ago. Here is Al Ghanam now, playing it back towards Abdullah Al Balahi. Stepping forward, Saudi Arabia still looking very comfortable on the ball. This is what's impressed me about Saudi Arabia, not just in this game, but in the previous game as well, is the fact that when they have spells in possession, they know what to do with it. It's not just a case of hitting it long, or perhaps just trying to keep a bit of slow, almost negative possession. Although commentators curse, just as I say that, and a simple pass, what seemed like a simple pass there to the substitute, Sultan Al Ghanam, and he lets it go under his foot. So meanwhile, Poland are preparing to make an attacking change here. Krzysztof Piątek, which literally translates as Christopher Friday, is getting ready to come on here, and he will be replacing Arkadiusz Milik, who was very unlucky not to get his name on the score sheet with a diving header which cannoned off the bar around 10 minutes ago. But Krzysztof Piątek, who's now playing his football for Salernitana in Italy, he comes on for Arkadiusz Milik. Piątek, his career has just taken a bit of a hit. He was certainly spoken of as being the new hope for Polish football in terms of a strike partner for Robert Lewandowski. He's 27 years of age, so there's still a good few years left in Krzysztof Piątek for sure. But you have to say that he had a very promising start with Genoa, scoring 13 in 19 games for them. Then had a move to AC Milan, which didn't quite work out, although he still had 13 goals in one season. But since his move to Hertha Berlin, that's where things have really sort of fallen apart. He's had a couple of injuries as well, and he's had 2 loan spells in Italy since then, one with Fiorentina and this season with Salernitana. We'll see what Piątek can do. He's not quite as tall as Milik, but he's a slightly quicker player, slightly more tricky to stop sometimes. So potentially that will be something for the Saudi defence to have to worry about. As the ball goes out for a throw to Poland, they finally got themselves at least a moment of attacking possession here outside the Saudi penalty area. And it's going to be Matt Cash to try and launch this one into the box. He does have a long throw, although there aren't too many Polish players to aim for. They're outnumbered quite markedly by the Saudi defenders. The throw does find a Saudi defender. Specifically, it's actually midfielder Mohammed Kano that brings the ball out, but then it's a bit of a wayward pass from him. And that one goes out for a throw to Poland, still inside the Saudi half. Matt Cash with the throw. He's got Kaminski down the right-hand side. He's got options towards the edge there. It's Kaminski. That's the ball's gone to. Kaminski holds it up and lays it off here for Cash. Cash takes it on the overlap. Finds Lewandowski, whose strike is charged down. Second ball at the edge of the area. Finds Bielik. Bielik then to Frankowski. Frankowski at the edge of the area. Didn't fancy a shot himself. I'm surprised he had enough time to do that. But he lays it off to Bartosz Bereszyński. Bereszyński now down the right-hand side, trying to keep the ball in play, trying to get a corner kick. He's not going to get away with either of those, unfortunately, for his sake. It's just going to be a goal kick there as Bereszyński just, well, he didn't mean to toe end the ball as far as he did there, I think, in front of Sultan Al Ghanam. And then Al Ghanam just got his body in the way, and it was easy. If that had gone out for a corner, then I think it would have had to have been a free kick anyway, because there was too much of a push there from Bereszyński there for my liking. Saudi Arabia restart play, and they're in possession now down the right-hand side. Al Ghanam leaves the ball here. Plays it forward to Al Shehri. Al Shehri at the edge of the area. Gets away, puts a cross in, but that's a good challenge. And it is a good challenge there from Jakub Kiwior. Stayed on his feet until the very last moment. And it is going to be a throw to Saudi. I thought it might have been a corner, but it is a throw right by the corner flag here. Al Ghanam going back to Mohammed Kano. And now it's Abdulelah Al Amri. Switching play over towards the left-hand edge of the penalty area. Al Disari to Abdul Hamid. Abdul Hamid now in towards Nayef Alabi. Didn't have any option to stay in the penalty. Had to go back towards the edge of the box. And that's good work there from Kaminski. He's made a good impact since he's come on a couple of important touches. And suddenly Poland are on the counter-attack. But once again, you have to give credit to Mohammed Al Owais, because Poland had a quick exchange there just past the halfway line. Lewandowski was definitely on side when this ball was played to him. But Lewandowski has barely got out of the sort of area of the centre circle, and suddenly the goalkeeper just appears in front of him. And not only did Al Owais put a clearance in, he actually cleared the ball, deflecting the ball off Lewandowski. So Saudi Arabia with the throw, and they're back into some midfield possession here now with Abdullah Al Amri chipping a ball down the left-hand side, giving his teammate a lot of work there, but credit to Abdul Hamid. He was busy in the first half on the right-hand side. He's been busy in the second half on that left-hand side, although ironically, of course, on the actual pitch itself, it's the same flank that he's been on, having not switched at half-time. But the ball now over the top here for Al Ghanam to chase. That will be easy for Wojciech Szczęsny, quickly off his line. And making the save. Szczęsny now looking up, waiting to see where his teammates are. Boots this one forward. We're into the last 15 minutes of regulation time, but we may well be seeing another 7 or 8 minutes of added time at the end of this second half. Just to remind you, France against Denmark is coming up at 4 p.m. UK time, and then at 7 p.m. UK time, it's the second game from this group as Argentina take on Mexico. Free kick given in favour of Saudi Arabia as Czesław Michniewicz there, the Poland manager, trying to get a message across to his players. We've got another problem here for Saudi Arabia. It's another problem here with the right shoulder for, is this Al Amri again? Al Amri jumping with Piontek there. Didn't really see how he's managed to get this problem with his shoulder, though. I mean, it looked like he landed awkwardly on his foot, not on his side. But, the number 4, Abdulelah Al Amri, going off the field now. Looks like he is going to be okay to play on. 21-year-old, sorry, 25-year-old, I should say, with his 22nd cap today. He's had 1 international goal, plays his club football for Al Nassr. Ball back in play now, and it looks like he is going to be coming onto the field momentarily, but Saudi Arabia pushing forward in the meantime. Back towards the halfway line. He is back on the field now. Al Amri looks like everything is absolutely fine. Holds the ball up. Plays it forward down this right-hand side. Bit of a push in the back there on Frankowski. Poland want a free kick there, and has that been given? I think it has been, yeah. I think the referee has bought that one. I say he's bought that one because it didn't seem like there was too much contact there on Przemysław Frankowski. But having said that, the referee has given a couple of softer free kicks, and at the same time he's allowed a couple of fairly strong challenges to go as well. So it's still that's a little bit of uncertainty with certain calls, but we can see Czesław Michniewicz say it'll be a huge relief for him and his coaching staff if Poland do go on to win this game, because they really have been tested here. They've been second best in terms of attacking possession, chances on goal, but that one goal from Piotr Zielinski 6 minutes before the end of regulation play in the first half, that's given Poland the 1-0 lead here, and it is Saudi Arabia in possession now with Al Malki down the left-hand side. Abdul Hamid the ball here. Abdul Hamid holding it up. Oh, he does really well there. Nutmegs his man. He gets towards the edge of the 6-yard box. He tries to find. There's a strike coming in, and it's just wide. Oh, the ball was laid off initially to substitute Al Abid. It just got away from him. And the second effort. Who's had the effort here at the edge of the penalty area? Great work here from Abdul Hamid inside the box. And then the ball deflects into the path. The strike coming in. It's just wide. It's actually a Polish clearance that presents this chance, and it looks like it was Al Malki, the number 8, who's had the effort towards goal, and Szczęsny is beaten. It's only just wide, and Hervé Renard's head in his hands. He can't believe it. His side really have had some good chances here to at least be level, if not be leading in this game. But it is Poland who still lead by a 1-0, but Saudi Arabia coming straight back here. Poland have virtually had no attacking possession in this second half, but despite that, they've actually forced a good save out of Al Owais, and they've also hit the woodwork as well twice. But here come Saudi Arabia now with a cross from the right-hand side. Al Amri's ball is headed away by Bereshinski. To Saudi Arabia down the right-hand side, played back in. Al Amri in towards Al Ghanam. Good play there, stopped by Frankowski, playing it forward to Piontek. Piontek, though, couldn't keep that in play. It is a throw to Saudi Arabia. Taken by Al Ghanam. The ball delivered to him by his manager. Saudi Arabia don't want to lose any precious seconds here now. Everything counts in terms of needing that time to try and get an equaliser and a win, of course. I mean, if they could reverse things here in the latter stages, they would qualify out of Group C, be the first side to do that, when really most people probably would have tipped them to finish last or third. But here come the Saudis again with a great ball over the top towards the right-hand side. Volleyed across goal. That was the right idea from Sultan Al Ghanam. He just needed somebody to follow that ball into the 6-yard box. Maybe it was just a little bit too quick. But you really can't fault the effort and the invention from Saudi Arabia here. Taken down on the chest by Sultan Al Ghanam. And as he volleys this one, Szczęsny leaves it when it really was almost going past his head at one point. But then it swerves away. Perhaps Szczęsny did have a quick look up and saw that there was nobody in a green Saudi shirt close enough to get on the end of it. Certainly from that one replay, it looked like Szczęsny was being very laid back about a ball that was only a couple of yards away from his goal. But after the Polish goal kick, Saudi Arabia win the ball back immediately, although Bereszyński on this occasion was clipped by Feris Albrikan. Free kick to Poland on the halfway line here on the left-hand side. It's Christian Bielik waiting to take it. And it's a long clearance then from Bielik down the right-hand side, taken down by Frankowski, playing it back to Cash. And then Krychowiak with a ball over the top here. One for Kamiński to chase. Kamiński does get there. He hooks it back towards Piątek inside the penalty area. But Krzysztof Piątek with a header, giving himself a little mental replay of what he should have done there. It was a looping header from Piątek, when really he should have perhaps put a bit more power behind it. But in any case, Saudi Arabia restart play here. And it's with Mohamed Kano. Back to Al Malki. Taken back down the left-hand side here with Saud Abdul Hamid. Pressing here from Piątek. And Lewandowski has won the ball back. A great chance for 2-0. And on 82 minutes, the Polish captain, Robert Lewandowski, surely wins this game for Poland now. And there's an absolute dive of Polish players there. Everyone piling onto Lewandowski in that corner. But it's a Saudi mistake at the edge of their own box. And this surely now is going to give Poland all 3 points with just 8 minutes to go plus injury time. Poland lead against Saudi Arabia by 2-0. It's a massive goal that for Robert Lewandowski. He's never scored a goal in a World Cup finals before. Missed out on doing so when Poland were in the World Cup in Russia 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago now. But he gets his World Cup goal, and you can see it's an emotional Lewandowski there as well. But massive, massive moment this for Poland, because Saudi Arabia were very much in the ascendancy for most of this game. But then it's just a moment of a momentary lapse of concentration. It's the holding midfielder Abdulelah Al Malki who's caught in possession at the edge of his own box. And then Lewandowski, he prefers to go with his right foot, but he's not going to bother this time. He's got enough time to set himself on the left foot. He takes the ball away, vaults over the attempted challenge there from Al Malki, and then Lewandowski from that sort of range is not going to miss. And it's 2-0 to Poland now. Saudi Arabia really with it all to do. And he's got tears in his eyes there, Lewandowski. As he mentioned before the World Cup, to say he gave that interview to British television in English. Mentioned that his father passed away when he was 16. Never got a chance to see Lewandowski playing professional football, but he said that when he does get his first World Cup goal, that'll be the first person he thinks of. And a free kick to Poland now. In fact, it's gone out for a throw to Poland down the left-hand side. But now we can see the Saudi bench just getting a little bit more animated every time Poland get a free kick or a throw. They've had a couple already since the goal. And that bench is getting more angry now. They can sense that this was a game that they could have won. There was a massive chance here for them. But the mistake there has now put Poland 2 up, and Saudi Arabia have been caught in possession. Here comes Lewandowski again. He's about 30 yards out, lays the ball off here to Matt Cash. Cash breaks into the penalty area, just checks his run, finds Kamiński, who lifts the ball up, attempted, well, he's trying to do an overhead kick there, Frankowski, but the ball never reached him. It's with Piątek now on the left-hand edge of the penalty area. Piątek holds this up and goes back towards Bereszyński. And Bereszyński playing it all the way back now towards Jakub Kiwior. Kiwior back to Szczęsny. And a long clearance from Szczęsny now over the top. Finding Frankowski. Does well. And that was a good attempt to play the ball through to Lewandowski, but credit to Al Amri. He stopped the ball in midfield. There's a fight for it in midfield now between Al Malki and Kamiński. And Kamiński has been adjudged to have fouled his man. Didn't think there was much wrong with that at all. But as I say, he's been a little bit of a toss of the coin as the referee in this game. Certain fouls that have been fairly obvious have been let go, and other times where it didn't seem like there was any kind of foul, it hasn't been let go. But the man who's just made the mistake, Abdulelah Al Malki, he's being replaced, and it's Abdulrahman Al Abdoud who comes on in his place. So Abdulrahman is on now. And it looks like Al Desari is the other one, who's the other player who's going to be replaced here. In fact, it's Nasser Al Desari who's going to be coming on. We'll confirm the second player coming off in just a moment. Nasser Al Desari is on, and we can see Hervé Renard getting very frustrated now as his side have got 5 minutes plus injury time to get back into this game. But I tell you what, if Saudi Arabia were to get a goal back here, with this being almost like a home game for them, the crowd would come alive, and all of a sudden all that pressure would return on Poland. So this game is not done yet, although Poland now in a much stronger position, having scored that second goal. And so you can see Lewandowski. You could almost say that because he's not really had too much service in these two games, that he thought, well, I might as well just try and fetch the ball myself then. If no one's going to pass to me, I'll win the ball back myself and I'll get the goal that wraps things up for us in this game. Or certainly he'll be hoping that it wraps things up for Poland in this game. And Saudi Arabia now in possession down the left-hand side with Abdul Hamid playing this ball forward, looking for the run of Al Abid. Al Abid now short towards El Shekri, back towards Abdul Hamid again. Poland are back in numbers here, but this cross is coming in from the left-hand side. Standing underneath that one is Szczęsny. Both sides appealing that it should be our ball, and I think it has been given as a... Has that been given as a corner? Certainly both sets of players... It should be given as a corner. I think it is Bereszyński that gets the last touch on that, but it may well be that Poland have got away with that one. And it has been given as a goal kick confirmation. That's the 77th goal that Lewandowski has scored for Poland, but it is his first goal at World Cup finals. It's almost a goal every other game. It's actually slightly better than that. He's played 136 times, and that is his 77th goal. So it's slightly above the ratio of 1 goal every 2 games, which over a long period, over a career, I think most strikers would be aiming for that in terms of a goal stat. Meanwhile, Poland having to do some more defending here as the ball is played through the middle. It almost gets through to Al Abdoud, the substitute. Good challenge from Bereszyński initially to stop him, although Bereszyński can't quite win the ball back a second time. He just uses his body there to win the ball back. That's really good work there from Bereszyński. Back to Frankowski, and now Poland trying to play out from the back, although the clearance down the left-hand side is to no one in particular. And so Saudi Arabia have the ball back here with 2 minutes to go plus injury time. Just waiting, just confirmation as well that it is Salah El Shekri who was replaced. And it's Nasser Al Desari who's come on to replace him. Al Desari on the field now to try and liven up this Saudi attack in what is now going to be I would imagine, quite a long injury time period. So I wonder if this is going to be something that we're going to see more of, this added time being just a little bit more precise. I mean, it's not a precise art anyway. We know that time lost during the game is never fully recovered. The study has confirmed that it's pretty much 15 minutes we lose on average in every half. But speaking of losing, it's Saudi Arabia that have lost possession here in midfield, and that's going to be a free kick to Poland after Piontek tried to get away from substitute Al Desari, but the ball has been... the referee has stopped play there, and in fact, I thought it might have been a booking there as well, but it's no yellow, just a free kick to Poland on the halfway line, or just inside their own half, in fact. And Szczęsny waiting to take this. Players to aim for in front of him. Szczęsny just waiting now. Perhaps it's Poland that were just trying to just hold the game up a little bit now. Long ball from Szczęsny, headed away at the edge of the area by Al Malki. Back into midfield. Both sets of players asking the question, but in the end it's been played back all the way back towards goalkeeper Szczęsny, who lifts the ball up down the right-hand side. It's headed on, and it's picked up here by Kaminski. Not a good ball, though, from Kaminski, but the loose ball picked up here by Lewandowski, who drops a shoulder. Lewandowski for his second goal. He's stopped on the line, and the ball is away for a corner. Oh, you really thought that Lewandowski was going to get his second goal there, but good work in the end. Saudi Arabia didn't give up the ghost there, because it looked to me as though Lewandowski had the beating of the goalkeeper. He tried to lift it over him, but credit to Al Owais. He still got his hands to it, which just stopped the ball in sort of mid-air. It then deflected into Lewandowski's chest, and once it got that deflection, Sultan Al Ghanam was able to then play it away. But the Polish bench frustrated with that one. Lewandowski frustrated with that one as well. It's going to be a corner kick to Poland now, and we're into injury time. And let's have a... I'm going to say it's going to be 6 minutes of injury time, but I may be wrong. It may be more than that. We'll get confirmation in the next few seconds. An outswinging corner here from Frankowski, aimed at Lewandowski, headed away towards the edge of the area. Krychowiak is there to mop up for Poland. Throws to... Oh, he's put too much on that one, and it's away for a goal kick. Confirmation, we are going to have more than the 6 minutes I was expecting. It's 7 minutes. So we're into 7 minutes of injury time at the end of this Group C game. But that's a poor clearance there from Mohammed Al Owais. He lifts that one way too high, and that one is out for a throw to Poland. And it's a throw to Poland still deep inside Saudi Arabian territory. And it really is a tough break this for Saudi Arabia. And you think of how well they've played in this game, the chances they've created. But Poland now 2 up as we go into injury time. Poland wants a corner kick there, and the referee has given it. Although the Saudi players are unhappy here, to me it seemed like it was a fairly obvious decision. Swung in from the left-hand side, but a good punch away there from Mohammed Al Owais. Back into midfield. Krychowiak at the end trying to mop up for Poland. He leaves the ball here for Frankowski. Frankowski on the left-hand side. Back into the middle here for Bielik. Bielik under pressure, having to go back towards the halfway line, and Cash playing it back all the way to the goalkeeper Szczęsny, who lifts this one high up into the air. It's a bit too much height on that one, and it's Saudi Arabia back in possession now here in midfield with Saud Abdulhamid. The left-hand side as Poland just started to sit back a little bit deeper now. Perhaps they'll feel as though they can afford to be even more defensively minded with the scoreline being what it is. But as I say, with still full 5 minutes of injury time to play here, they don't want to be sitting back and encouraging Saudi Arabia too much, because of course if a goal was to go in quickly to make it 2-1, then all of a sudden there really would be panic stations here for Poland, you feel. So in the meantime, Saudi Arabia trying a long ball over the top. It's Al Amri's ball, which gets towards the edge of the area. Played square there by Al Desari, but it's cleared back over towards that right-hand side. Al Ghanam. Now square to Al Desari again. And joining this attack was Mohamed Kano. Had a good game in midfield. Kano, the ball whipped in from the right-hand side, headed away by Glik, and then a further header there from Przemysław Frankowski back towards the halfway line. Poland sitting back here as Saudi Arabia trying to work another opening here down the right-hand side. It's with Al Aboud. But Al Aboud had no options to go forward, having to play it back towards the halfway line. And Poland once again not able to pick up the second ball. They're just quite happy to clear it, but now they've won it back in midfield, and all of a sudden Saudi Arabia have got players further forward. Lewandowski holding it up, waiting for players to join him, and he does well to find a pass down the right-hand side for Kaminski. He's being closed down by Abdulhamid. Kaminski back to Lewandowski. This is around 30 yards out from goal now. On the overlap there to Cash, but the referee has stopped play. What for? This is unbelievable. The referee has stopped play whilst Poland were in attacking possession for somebody who's down with a leg injury. This is ridiculous from the Brazilian referee. I don't know where he's been taught to do that, but that is completely the wrong option there from the referee. I don't suppose Poland will mind too much because of the situation of the game, but there's no way that play should be stopped here. No way, not a chance. Even if there is an injury there to Al Aboud, it's not a head injury. There's not. He was basically caught by Lewandowski as Lewandowski put a pass forward down the right-hand side. You could actually argue that Lewandowski was fouled by the man as he was trying to play it forward. And I'll tell you what, if this was a different scoreline at the time, then for me that would have been a controversial decision from the referee. I don't really understand why play was stopped whilst Poland were in attacking possession, but the sub is being subbed. Al Abid is going off here, and he is being replaced. I think maybe just because he had that bit of a knock as well. So it's Hatan Babri who's on the field now. Hatan Babri on for these last few minutes. Saudi Arabia desperate to try and get back into this game. I wonder if those Rolls Royces they were promised, I wonder if they're still going to get them now after the defeat. I'm sure they will, of course, that the win against Argentina was something incredible, and some of the scenes of the celebrations were amazing. But here come Poland now just to compound the problem. Lewandowski and Piontek almost got in each other's way there at the edge of the area, and suddenly Saudi Arabia with a chance to counter here with Abdulelah Al Malki down the left-hand side. Feeds the ball through towards Babri, the substitute. He gets it in towards Albrikan. Albrikan on the line there, just stopped as he tried to put a cross in. Cleared away by Kamil Glik. Out for a throw to Saudi Arabia. Taken short. It's with Salem Al-Dosari at the edge of the area. Strike coming towards goal. That's not too far away, as Szczęsny was diving for that one. The efforts on goal there was once again from Mohamed Kano. I said he's had a very good game. Big sort of tall, gangling midfielder, but he has had some really good moments in this game. That wasn't a bad effort at all, just curling away from Szczęsny's post as he was diving just in case there, the Polish keeper. Of course, he couldn't afford to leave that one. It was very close to his goal. And actually looking at the replay, we can see he tucks his hand in at the last second, knowing that he's not actually going to have to make a save. So 40 seconds of the added time still to play in this game. Will we see a Saudi Arabian goal here just to really make things interesting towards the end? But we can see Hervé Renard still trying to get his players to get further forward. Maybe too little, too late now, but you certainly can't fault the effort of Saudi Arabia in this game. That's for sure. They've got enough, I think, to go into the next game and feel as though they can confidently do something. I don't think you could say that this is a done deal against Mexico. Of course, Mexico will certainly have something to play for, depending, of course, on what the result will be against Argentina this evening. That's the 7 p.m. kickoff. But just as I say that, we've had the full 7 minutes of added time, and the referee, Wilton Pereira Sampaio, ends proceedings here at the Education City Stadium. And Poland, who were disappointing in the game against Mexico, have recovered today to beat Saudi Arabia by 2-0. It's a bit of a rude awakening for Saudi Arabia after that memorable win against Argentina in their first game. But it's all open now in Group C with Argentina and Mexico still to play this evening. But that's it from the Education City Stadium. From myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, thank you very much. Do join us again soon.